And today's vlog is just kind of like a commentary. I have been seeing this memes all over the internet, so I can't say that, this is just the only one that stands out. But I was kind of bothered by it for whatever reason. And so, Michelle Williams from Destiny Child, shout out to her, just got engaged, and she is apparently marrying a pastor, and, I kind of did a little intel on him, and, he seems like he's, someone who is not only established in his ministry, but he's done ministerial work for some sports teams and some other things, and he does workshops and all that kind of thing, and from what I understand, because Michelle won't call me back to give me the real tea, they met at a conference or some type of maybe Christian conference or what have you, and so they struck up a conversation and friendship, and so romance ensued. And I am a girl who loves love, and so I was like, go girl. Anyway, so I think that he was doing an interview, or he had done an interview somewhere, and he mentioned that he had been saving up for a ring, for an engagement ring, for his wife. At the time, he didn't know that it was Michelle, of course, but he had been saving up for an engagement ring for about 11 years, and I think he said he put like $150 in it. Now, I don't know if he put $150 in it a week or a month or whatever it is, but whatever the amount was, I'm sure that at the end of 11 years, he had a nice chunk of change, and, he met her, and he decided that he wanted to marry her, and he already had this money saved up, and so he went and bought her a ring, and I think the ring is like 5 carats, which I'm here all day for. Anyway, so he bought this ring, and he presented his future wife with it. She said yes, and all things are lovely. I don't even understand how people are hating on this story. People have been saying, oh, that's creepy to save up that long for somebody that doesn't exist, and, this, that, and the third, and, why you have to give so much money. And then, of course, there's the obligatory Wally watchers. He could have fed starving children in Iowa or wherever, or he could have, it's so much more that he could have been doing with that money, and Jesus is not pleased, and blah, blah, blah. First of all, I believe that Jesus would have been okay with the purchase. I mean, considering that his garments, when he died, they literally were like shooting dice trying to figure out who's going to get his garments. I tend to think that if it was today's designer, that his garments was probably Gucci or Louis or House of somebody that you can't pronounce from Italy. That's what I think. I don't think that he was poor, and because who is shooting dice and taking bets about who gonna have the robe of a homeless guy? Like, that don't make no sense. But whatever, call me crazy. Anyway, I thought that it was perfectly logical to do that. Number one, he saved up. He clearly was not missing no kind of meals or missing any kind of bills, because he was putting this extra money into this account. And this is what he wanted to save up for. Listen, from the time that women crawl out of the womb, we are told how awesome it is to be a wife. We dream about our wedding gowns, how our bridal party is going to look. We've picked out colors. We've practiced writing our names with our new husband's, last name, or the boy that we think about to be our husband, because that changes. Depending on the focus sometimes. But when you're younger, those are things that you do as little girls, and we are encouraged to do that. We're encouraged to put sheets and pillowcases on our heads and play bride. Who are we marrying? We're doing all this planning, and who are we marrying? Nobody. It's a thought. It's a kind of, being aware. And this man knew that he did not want to be by himself for the rest of his life. I think that he said something like, it was his 30th birthday, and he was so lonely, and he cried out to God, and he said, I really want a wife. And however long that takes, that was his good faith effort to say, whoever this woman is that God is going to bring me, she's going to be worth every penny that I'm putting into this account. I don't know why we got to watch other people's wallets and tell them what they need to spend their money on. And if you're not feeding starving children in Iowa, I don't know why you are commanding somebody else to do that. You buy whatever it is you want with your money. You know why? Because you earn it, and that's what you get to do. I don't think that it's creepy at all. I think that it's quite practical, honestly, that you actually saved up for, something as expensive and as big a purchase as an engagement ring. And he was able to walk in there and he purchased that, and he's debt free. Like, All the yes, all the I'm here for it. Oh, yes, I am. Like, you didn't have to go in, pray that they run your credit and, see what kind of limits you get at the K jeweler. And then, you picking out some whatever it is that you can get. And then you telling her stuff like, well, baby, when I get some more money, I'm going to upgrade your ring. No. That's a no. Now, that's not to mock anybody that's there. That's not to mock anyone to say that if that's your circumstance, it's your circumstances. But why would you vilify the next man who's actually doing it a different way and his way works for him? And before I get hate telling me how there's too much focus on a ring and, this, that, and the third, listen, I don't tell other people what to focus on. As a woman, if I'm married, I would like my ring. And I would like to buy my husband a really, really nice ring. That's what I would like to do. I don't tell people what kind of cars they should drive, what they should spend their money on in terms of their house. Why you gotta have that big house with 4 bedrooms? It's only 3 of y'all. Y'all can have 3 bedrooms. You know how silly you sound when you say that? That's the same way you sound when you tell other people that they don't need to have wedding rings, or they don't need to have big weddings, or they don't need to, whatever. Pick something. I've seen people say the same thing about proms, prom dresses. Why they spending all that money on prom? I hope that they get a college education. Like, you really are going to open up your wallet and write a check if they can. I kind of think that you're hoping that they can't so that you have something to say. Like, I don't understand why we're so miserable, why we can't celebrate people and the things that they do and accomplishments, because that's their lane. And if they've overspent, if they've done something where they, now don't have any money, that is their business and their problem. And even if they start a GoFundMe, guess what you don't have to contribute to? Yep, the GoFundMe. You don't have to put nothing in it. You don't. You really don't. So I'm not quite sure why we have this tendency to tell people what they should and should not do. I don't think that that's creepy. I think that that's smart. I think that that means that that man had a purpose. That man believed with all his heart for all those years that his wife was coming. And that when she manifested, she was going to be worth whatever was in that account. Period. And if she had shown up in a week or two, I'm quite sure that he would have figured out how to finance that ring. But the idea that this was kind of like a visual way of him keeping track of what his goal was, I'm here for it. I really am. And I think he said something like it was hard at some point to keep the faith alive, because somewhere around that 6th or 7th year, he was like, I really wanted to pull it out and buy a car, but he didn't. That was just a testament to his faith. And I don't believe by any stretch of imagination, God was trying to see how long he could save up and how dedicated he could be to saving, as if that was some type of test of his faith. But that wasn't for God. That was for him. That was for him to be able to say, this is the woman that I want to marry, and I'm going to know when she shows up. And when she shows up, I'm going to be prepared. Kudos and shout out to him. I'm here for it. So I don't understand the negativity. I don't understand why we gotta, play accountant with everybody else's checks and everybody else's wallets and tell them what they got to spend their money on and what they don't. It's absurd to me. I don't know. You can't prioritize somebody else's money. You just can't. We really need to stop that, because it just makes us look petty and incivil for no reason. So shout out to Michelle and her boo. I wish I could remember his name. Pastor something. I want to say Josh. If it's not Pastor Josh, I'll correct it down below. But at any rate, shout out to her and her boo, her fiance, and shout out to him being able to give her a ring debt-free. And I pray that they have a meaningful and a lasting marriage, and that is everything that both of them want it to be. I hope that they really enjoy the fruits of their individual labor and their collective labor. But guess who ain't gonna lose no sleep if it don't work out? This girl. Guess who's not going to benefit if it works out? This girl. So I bless them, and I'm here for that savings plan. Y'all do well to take his example. You ain't got to save for an engagement, but good Lord, can you save for something? Have some kind of rainy. Some of y'all can't even buy a tire if the tire blow out on the freeway. So think about that. Sometimes it's wise to have some type of money set aside just so that you can be able to function. That's my thoughts. I will catch y'all later on. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave a comment below. Love y'all. Bye.